I don't know if you saw this, but the Phoenix Suns have hired Mike Budenholzer.
I did. That was a great weekend news drop by that organization, trying to slip that under the radar.
Let me ask you a question. Just curious. You guys maybe can help me out here, okay? If you just fired a coach for losing in the first round of the playoffs, you want to finish it? You want to finish for me? Because I feel like you know where this is going.
No, please go for it. It's too
I just want to know if you want to fire the guy, if you want to fire a coach, a champion with a championship ring because he lost in the first round of the playoffs. Why would you go hire a coach with a championship ring who got fired for losing in the first round of the playoffs? What am I missing here? What am I missing here?
When I saw the hire, I was like, isn't that the same coach, just with a different name?
What are you doing? What are you doing? And what that tells me is this. The Phoenix Suns are going to be cooked for a very long time because their owner is that guy. What guy? That guy is the guy that made the decision for the super top heavy roster that is clearly not deep enough and able to get it done, right? He is going to look for every microwave, get rich quick strategy that is out there. And this one is the latest one. This one with Mike Budenholzer. I am floored by this. Every season except that, I understand it sounds harsh, but Sean, I don't think I'm wrong here. They won a championship that year in Milwaukee and were colossally disappointing every other year.
Correct.
I think there's no other way to put it. And I don't feel like the year that they won that championship in Milwaukee, weren't we ready to fire him halfway through that, like through those playoffs? We were out here like, dog, what are you doing?
And I'm pretty sure Giannis pretty much saved him in that run.
Yes.
And
yes,
it was just like, okay, I guess he won a champion. I guess Coach Bud won a championship. He's good, you know?
Right. Ishbia made the hire that most regular people would have made. And that's a problem. You know what I mean? And I readily acknowledge hiring coaches, I don't know who's good and who's not. Like this goes a zillion different directions. Like one day somebody gonna hire JJ Redick and I got no idea if that's actually going to work or not, right? Like I admit that. But this seemed like a real casual hire, shall we say.
Ishbia reminds me of a guy who's like playing on 2K, making a franchise, doing things that the casual fan would do, except when it goes bad, they would delete that franchise. Ishbia can't. He's too far deep.
Well, what's the thing is, on the video game, once you make that trade, you can turn fatigue off. Like, they got a team that you feel like if you could just turn fatigue off, they wouldn't be so bad, right? If they could just run 40 minutes, like the Brad Beal trade, that was another one of those that I don't feel like you think out necessarily. The Kevin Durant trade, which I guess you got a chance to get Kevin Durant. You make the trade to try to get Kevin Durant. I guess, I get that part, but this is where they're going to be. This is, I don't feel like this coach is going to make it better, but I also feel like this. People got to stop blaming Kevin Durant or trying to make this argument that he is just like Mr. Coach Killer. And I don't, and here's why I'm pushing back against that. That man played for Scott Brooks for how many years? How many years?
And you never heard him say one bad thing about Scott Brooks. No,
because if there was a coach that needed killing, it was that one right there. I used to say Scott Brooks was out there wearing glasses because it made him look smarter. Like he did not kill that coach. They made a bad. He was not in a good place. If he wanted Steve Nash, that was a bad idea. Like the Kyrie stuff for all of this. But I also saw this Coach Killer argument. I saw people trying to begin to float that same argument about LeBron James. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you can't be serious on this. You can make the argument he got Paul Silas out of there maybe, but he played 5 years for Mike Brown. He played 4 years for Spo. Like, he had a little temper tantrum that day and tried to get Spo out of there, but that didn't happen. David Blatt, you can't blame him on that one. You'd have fired David Blatt too, right? Like, I look up and down at that, and my thought on the players is always this. The players are the ones who know first that the coach is supposed to get fired. They have the eyeball for it. They witness it before anybody else. And the bottom line is, if the coach can't get on with the players, then the coach got to go. Like, the players are going to let you know it ain't working with him. They know better than anybody else when it is and is not working. And they're going to let you know, it don't work with that dude. He probably needs to get out of here. They take the blame for it at every turn, but I am convinced. I can't think of too many times when the players have gotten a coach out of there and they were wrong. Can you?
No, it's always the right. It's always the right. If you're a player and you don't like the coach you're playing for, there's a chance this coach is bad.
Yes, every single time that I can think of. I can't think of one time that it's just been like, see, players was wrong about that one. No, they seem to have been right every single time that this move gets made. So let's go see what happened with Budenholzer too, because he can kind of grind on people, right? That Greg Popovich tree, that's a tricky one. I think there's a Belichickian quality in a way to the Popovich tree where it works for him, especially when he had Tim Duncan. You know, and Budenholzer has been largely successful. Man, he had me thinking the Hawks was going to go to the finals one year. You know how crazy that is? Like the Hawks whose best player was Al Horford, man. They had me for a couple of days thinking they was going to beat LeBron. I ain't never been more wrong about nothing before in my life. LeBron put the broom to their asses. Out of here. Swept them dudes straight out the paint. Couldn't be nothing. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with playoff basketball and hockey entries today on Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Prize Picks is really simple to play, and you can make your picks and submit your entry in less than 60 seconds. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. So make sure you go to prizepicks.com/Bomani and use code Bomani for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/Bomani. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.